right, guys, give it up one more time for Ash Newland. More importantly, for Veggie Tales. Yeah, that's my favorite portrayal of Christianity. One I can just eat. All right. I'm a big Bob the Tomato fan, if you can't tell. It's how I've shaped my entire body. All right. We got one clap out of that and a couple Snickers, and those Snickers were offensive, so let's keep that down over there. Guys, give it up for your next comic, Jason Dooman!
Well, hello, peace of mind. How are we tonight? Good. Well, my name is Jason, and let's get to know each other. How's that sound? Yeah. I'm a middle child. Any middle children here? All right. Who cares? All right? As a middle child, we can all say our life is just one big who cares. We had 2 years maybe where we're the baby of the family, right? And then one day our parents just look at us and they just say, you are not enough. Let's get a girl this time. That's what happened to my family. But, being a middle child, it did prepare me to deal with disappointment well. So, however this goes, I'll be fine. Okay, I'll be all right, because it's been my whole life. It's just a disappointment. But it also gave me a good sense of detachment and apathy. And one time, detachment and apathy saved my life. And I'm going to tell you about it. Because I was outside playing by myself, because I was a middle child, and a guy pulled up in a white van. Now, some of you were also born in the previous century. You were also told, be afraid of white vans, right? I see the nodding heads. And so this guy pulls up in a white van, he rolls his window down, and he says, hey kid, can you help me find my puppy? And I was sitting there, it's like, that sounds like a lot of work, man. You should take better care of your dog. And then he just drove away. And it was just recently, as I've been reflecting on my life, that I realized that that guy was trying to kidnap me, and apathy and detachment saved my life. So thanks, apathy. Appreciate you. I'm also a dad.
Jason.
Yes. Turn the microphones on. How's that?
I don't know. Is it better? Should I start over? Anybody here a middle child? All right, all of you. Good. Who cares? Oh gosh, that was. You heard me? Okay. So it just was. Again, I'll be fine. Goodness, technology is hard. I'm a dad. Any dads here? All right, good. A couple of brave souls got out of the house. Being a dad is very rewarding, is something that I have heard. I am still waiting for my son's Father's Day card. So he's 19. And I mean any Father's Day card. Like Father's Day is a scam, right? It's the only holiday where the person being honored has to remind people that it's coming up. Right? You don't see Jesus going around in December going, psst, my birthday's coming up. No, we just know. But my daughter, she did give me a Father's Day card, and it was great. I opened it up, and she said, Happy Father's Day. Thank you for being my free Uber driver. 3.5 stars. Music sucks, talks too much, needs better snacks. It was the nicest thing she's ever said to me. I was so moved. I do love my kids. I also try to relate to young people, which tells you how old I am. I'm trying to relate to the young. And so I was writing a joke by my daughter. I was like, hey, you're young. Does this make sense to you? And so I did the joke, and she's like, well, first of all, I hate how you start words. Where am I supposed to go from there? It's basically my daughter just saying, shut up. So things are going good at home. It's going great. But one thing I learned about parenting is a lot like going to the movies. if you lower your expectations, you're going to have a much better time. Not every movie's going to win an Oscar. Not every kid's going to get out of high school. All right? Just lower your expectations. But I always wanted to be a dad because my dad is awesome. He's my hero. I can't tell you how many times he saved my life because it's literally 0 times. But he always made me feel safe anyway. When I was a kid, I was afraid of a lot of things. And I was afraid that one day somebody would break into our house and murder our whole family. You guys ready to laugh? And I asked my dad one time, I said, Dad, what should I do if somebody breaks into our house and murders our whole family? And I was like 4. And he said, well, this is what you got to do, Jason. Just lay real still, pull your sheets all the way up to your neck. They'll think your head's cut off. They'll move on. I love you. Good night. So that was good. I still sleep that way for safety. And it's worked, 100% success rate. But I want to be like my dad in so many different ways. And one of them is to follow the great traditions of our family. And so like my father and like his father before him, I get up early on Saturday mornings and I go hunting on the plains of Bothell for donuts. And I love a good donut shop. And so I found a donut shop recently that I was really excited for, but then I looked in the window and it said proudly Christian owned, which is a sign that should say prepare to be disappointed. You know, like Christian music, Christian movies, Christian politicians, prepare to be disappointed. But look, I'm Team Jesus, all right? But Jesus is not the faith leader that I would look to for donut wisdom, right? Have you seen that guy? Looks like he's always on CrossFit. That's it. Crucifix joke. Yeah, nailed it. Thank you. What I look for when I go into a donut shop is a little shrine to Buddha. Because that is a wisdom leader who knows his way around a cruller, right? The 5-fold path to enlightenment is a maple bar, an apple fritter, something with a twist, and then 2 other things. Just go for it. Eat it on the way home. No one needs to know. Anyway, I love donuts. You can probably tell that, right? You can probably tell. Like, Jason, you've done the donut research. It's true. It's true. I need to eat better to have fewer stains on my shirts, first of all. But I had a wake-up call the other day. I was getting dressed, and I strained my shoulder trying to button my jeans. Some of you have been there. It is a hard day when you have to go to the hospital and they say, describe your injury. I'd rather not. There's a reason I'm wearing stretchy pants right now. But I am trying to set goals and try to change my life a little bit. But it's hard because up until recently, goals, like aspirations, I thought aspirations just meant you had a really sweaty butt crack. Right? Like in August, I had a lot of aspirations. But it's different than that. It's not that. I should let you know something. This is not my full-time job. And you're like, oh, okay, well, is this like a Make-A-Wish? Are you sick? For 20 years, I was actually a pastor. And my church was just right down that way, down the road there. And being a pastor is fun, but you get like weird complaints when you are a pastor. People will complain like the music's too loud, the sermon's too long, you're fat. I mean, that one I don't think really mattered as much to what we were doing there, but still. But people complain about all kinds of things, and I got to the point where I just realized, like, if somebody's complaining, I would just say, maybe that's the Lord trying to tell you something. Right? Like, yeah, how dare you talk about generosity? Well, maybe the Lord's trying to tell you something. How dare you talk about being nice to my kids? Well, because you're terrible. The Lord's trying to tell you something. Also, working with people is hard because people are never done. Anybody meet a person? You've all met people. They're a mess, right? And they're never done. And so you go to the pastor factory and you're trying to work on people. It's not like that. And you just don't know when you're done. And so it got to a point where I did a lot of funerals, and I just got to a point where I started putting my business card in the casket as like one of those inspected by tags that you find in your pocket, right? Just like, hey, I did my best, God. It's up to you now from here. But I realized something that when I was pastoring, that I was just a really bad counselor, right? And you're like, we can tell. People would come in and like I'd meet with couples who were going through some challenges. You guys are looking great though. I think you guys are gonna make it. I'm proud of you. When people would come in and like I'd do my best, I'd listen, and then I'd immediately try to point them to somebody who could actually help them. But invariably, which is a word I recently learned, invariably, the husband would look at me at the end. They knew I was doing comedy, and they would say, "This isn't going to end up in the act, is it?" And every time, I'd say, "Oh, that's the narcissism she was talking about." All right, we'll be back next week. You guys are going to have a very uncomfortable fight on the way home, and I'll see you on Sunday. It was a super fun time. But I did just recently change jobs, and as I was doing that, working through the process of changing jobs, I tried to think about, like, what would I love to do? And so I had some ideas. The first idea was I wanted to create a furniture judging competition where people would make furniture pieces and they would bring them to me and I would judge them. And I wanted to be called the Ottoman Umpire. Yeah, I was stoked about that one. I would love to be the spelling bee word announcer person, right? The person who, like, the homeschool kid comes up, their whole life is dependent on whether or not they spell this word correctly. And I would say to them, your word is superfluous. And they would say, can you use it in a sentence? And this is why I want that job. Because I would look at them in the eye and say, yes, please spell superfluous. Superfluous is one of my favorite words. And I know it's a bit extra. There you go. Okay. See, this, right? Wordplay. It only gets worse from here. Been thinking a lot about my fears lately. And I was at Costco the other day and I saw 2 ambulances outside of Costco. And I'm always worried about a crisis. And I was like, what could possibly be going on at Costco that would require 2 ambulances? But then I remembered, everything comes in bulk at Costco. You get a 2-pack. Thank you. But I have been thinking about fears. One of my great fears is that I would bring shame on my family after I die. When they look at my computer and they look up how many times I looked up how to spell millennial. I have never spelled that correctly in the history of my life. That word is a trap. And I just don't want to bring shame on my family. I'm married. Anybody married here? All right, good. Yeah, I love being married. My wife's awesome. She doesn't usually come watch me do comedy because she's positive she's going to outlive me. And she only wants to watch me die the one time. So she prefers to just wait it out. And she probably will outlive me. Her grandfather, he is 92 years old, and he just recently got remarried. And so yeah, I mean, he can't see, can't hear, but he can still pull. All right. And then, we went to the wedding, and it was great. The cake was blended. The bridesmaids had matching walkers. It was great. It was wonderful. But after the wedding, my wife and I, we got home and we had a very interesting conversation. And she asked, like, hey, Jason, what are we going to do if one of us dies before the other one? And this is a tricky situation because it's kind of a trap, right, gentlemen? It's like a Jeremy Renner in the Hurt Locker situation where you've seen some stuff and you know one wrong wire, this whole thing's going to blow up in your face. And so you just got to be careful. And so I said, well, Kathy, babe, Well, what do you want to do? Because I'm a leader. And she said, well, if I die first, I don't know if I want you to get remarried. Which is intense, right? But it's okay. Now I know the parameters of the conversation. So I said, well, babe, if I die first, I just want you to be happy. And she said, thanks. I will be. I love you. Good night. That's all for me, everybody.
All right, guys, give it up one more time for Jason Kuban. Pretty cool once he turned the microphone on, huh? Yeah. Interesting. He says he doesn't want to disappoint his family, but went from being a pastor to a comedian. That's actions speak louder than words moment right there.